Alright, Gatekeeper here. We in here trying to stay strong. Got a little under the weather here. Let you know how dedicated I am to my hobby. Feel like utmost dog crap, but hey, we're gonna make it through this. I got faith in me. We got a little Pride 150 here that was pretty much brought to me to be thrown in the trash. But we got her working. Got her working actually very well. The top lid here was so rusted, I was kind of scared that when I tried to take the rust off of it that I was going to knock some holes in it. It was that rusted. But I did not have no other top to use since this top's a little different than some of the other ones. It excurs on it. It comes out on the back and the front a little bit. But I got lucky and was able to spend about 2 hours or so getting the rust off of my Dremel. I got to work with what I have. We put this nice little metallic, kind of flaky black finish with here, Rust-Oleum. Never a rust again. Let's go ahead and take that off. Alrighty. We got two MRF 455s that I put in here. There were some off-brand transistors in there, but let's see if I can get this thing to zoom in here. As you see, these 455s are different lots, but they do match. They do match. If you ever see me using transistors that are different lots like this, just always remember they do match, or I wouldn't be using them. You can find transistors that do match with the HFE settings. My guess is, they're two different color codes too. My guess is that one of them lost a little bit and kind of equal to the other, if you know what I mean. Kind of like if you got a strong HFE transistor and a weak one, if that strong one's used in the batch and, gets drawn down a little bit, it might equal the other one, if that makes any sense. So they do match very well, actually. And we had to retune the input of this amp. I don't think I had to do anything to the output, did I? Nah, the output is untouched. I had to put a new relay on this one. This is a relay I had laying around. It's not a new relay, it's a used working one. I had to rework the output, the wire that's taking the RF to the output, SO239. I had to replace that. It was some just nasty rusted wire. And I had to fix the RX transmit circuit right here. And let's see here. Another thing, since the leads are so short on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell this with a Anderson connector with some wire on it for you. I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 of them. So keep that in mind. I'm going to give you 2 Anderson connectors. What you can do is you can just put an Anderson connector on this since it's so short, and just use the other Anderson connector I give you and just use it to plug into it. Because when you're using Anderson connectors, it really don't matter how short it is coming out the back, Heck, sometimes I've seen people actually put Anderson connectors in amps and on the back of power supplies, actually in them to plug into them. So that's what I'm going to do with this amp since the leads are fairly short for you. So I'll give you 2 Anderson connectors with wires in there. Okay, I did have to put, I just noticed, let me see. I'm going to look just to make sure. I don't want to tell y'all something I didn't do. Okay, I didn't put them on there. I did put a new, there was a trimmer on here. When I got everything tuned in, I took that out and mic'd it in with a cap here. Okay, that right there was already on there. I did put this choke on here, and I think that's going to be it. Like I said, we tuned her in and got her rolling. Let's go ahead and do an output test. Oh, I just noticed one thing I did not point out. The preamp does work on here. If you can see this diode right here, that diode and the blue diode down there, I had to put both of them on there. I think one has to do with the preamp, one doesn't, but that actually got the preamp working. This was still good, so I'll show you the preamp's working real quick. That's the preamp on. Off. Don't forget, I'm on a dummy load, so that's, I could switch over. I need to put a little switch on this dummy load so I can switch over to the antenna. But the less jumpers I have in line, the better when you're tuning. This is my, all this equipment you see right here is just for my tuning, and I need to have a separate setup, though, so I can show y'all, I guess, the preamps in action. But as long as it gives you some static like it just did, that means the preamp is in working operation. Alright, let's go ahead, and you got the high, low, medium switches on the back here. I do want to tell you, it's like all the way this way is low. Whenever you put this amp in low, just make sure that you press it all the way. With how tight this was, I wasn't about to take this switch out and try to replace it, just because the switch might be a little, antsy. You just need to make sure you have it switched all the way, because I know one or two times I just kind of easily pushed it all the way, but didn't press it all the way, and it actually didn't give me no output at all. So basically, if you put it on low and you don't see no output on your watt meter, you know that you need to go back here and maybe just push it that way and back, real hard. Just make sure it's pressed all the way. But on medium high, there's no issues at all. So just want to let you know everything about the amp, so there is no anything hidden about it. So you just need to make sure that's pressed all the way to the right. So it's got just a little nudge there. You'll see what I'm talking about. Whoever gets this amp, just make sure it's pressed all the way to the right. Just give it a little finger muscle. I'll show you what we're going to be putting into it. Oh, see what we're going to be decked in. Audio. Alright, 20 watts like usual. By the way, I've had a couple people ask me what kind of radio I am using. I'm using just a regular old 29, which is up under here. Just a regular 29 with the limiter, with a dead key variable. That is it. Modulation is turned up to 100%, and that is it. No extra added harmonic issues or none of that. Just a simple radio, your perfect radio for perfect tune. Radio does about 4 or 5 watts, bird. As you see, does about 20 on the peak. Alright, let's go ahead and flip this on. We're on low power. We're also on 13.9 volts. Oh, 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 Now, one thing I like about this amp, watch the amperage swing on this bad boy. Oh, 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 So that'd be good for a sideband operation right there. That is an amperage meter. Y'all don't get that confused with a wattage meter now. Oh, Now, I see on the RF light, I had to Actually, that's the last thing I forgot. I had to put a new LED in here. And I think that's it. I promise. Unless I notice something else. I had to fix the RF circuit. Let me just show that working. Oh, it's kind of voice operated like these older amps are. Really neat. Oh. Alright, show you the reflect. While we're at it, 10 watts lug. 100 is 10 watts, 40 is 4, 20 is 2, and between that's 1. Beautiful. Beautiful tune. Some of these amps can tune out that low. Some of them has a tiny bit of reflect, but luckily with all the amps I've done so far, I've been able to get them all to a 1-to-1 or 1-to-0, as you say. I think there was only one amp that I had that I was not able to get it down below about a watt reflect. That was one that I had converted down from a 1x4 to a 4. And hey, I did all I could do, man. It was just something about the design, you know, without getting in there changing around a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead and put this bad boy on medium. Y'all forgive me, I can't remember which one is medium and high. Let me try the next tick over there. Let's see here. Okay, let's do that. Okay, yeah, the next tick over is medium, so all the way to the right will be low, and the middle is medium, all the way up will be high. So here's medium. Got about a 20-30 watt dead key. Oh, about 170. Reflect still looking good. Show you that amperage meter. Oh, you want to see that thing swing forward? Oh dear. It don't matter if it's just staying still. That's fine too. You just on the mall. You don't want it swinging backwards. I think this amp is going to be the same as the other one. These amps were actually designed to be ran on just 5 watts. So the little 20 watt radios will overmodulate them. Oh dear. All right, let me show you this right here. See that, about an 18 amp dead key? Now watch it swing backwards on the amperage meter. Oh, okay. Let me show you what that means. There's nothing wrong with that. That means that my 20 watts is overdriving this amp on high. On medium and low, it's beautiful. But on high, 20 watts is overdriving it. So just keep this in mind. I like to do this with every amp that I have, so you'll know that's like this. That's actually a decent setting to have, because if you do have a 5 watt radio or a low wattage radio, you can use this amp and put it on high, and you'll be getting more out of it than if you were running an amp, you know, that's doing what this is doing on medium or low. So only run this amp on high with a lower wattage radio, okay? But just for output's sake, we will show you what it's doing real quick on high. We just won't stay on the key long. Oh, see, not much of a difference, because we're actually overmodulating at this point. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to bump it down to medium and turn it to 15 volts to show you the... So if this was an amp I was going to keep, I would run it on medium. Just want y'all to note all that. I ain't trying to pull any on anybody. I want you to understand this amp completely. 15.2. Oh, so you can get what you had on high on 15 volts without overmodulating it. Oh dear. See what I'm saying? Oh dear. So this was called a Pride 150. We're getting about 180. 190. So I say that's good to go. Reflect is beautiful. This amp should run nice and cool for you. Well, hope it finds a good home. Gatekeeper's gonna go in there and rest and take care of myself before I come out here and do this video, and got 2 or 3 more to do. We good and gone.